agenda is as stands.
I move to approve the board meeting items for May 8, 2019 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda items for May 8th, 2019 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approval of minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of April 24th, 2018 as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from April 24th, 2019. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Correspondence.
I have none, Mr. Chair.
Public comment. Reports. 6th grade science fair presentation.
You think they'll be here, Mrs. Warner?
I texted Sam, she's having trouble getting any kids here for science fair. I can give you a report, a short report on science fair if you'd like, so that we can move on to the reports.
Baseball, is that what will that mean?
It's baseball, it's
Everything.
all kinds of things. They're doing a talent show, they're doing all kinds of stuff, and she said she was having a hard time getting kids here, but plan to, so I don't know for sure. Would you like me to go ahead with just an overview?
Go ahead, sure, quick report.
Okay. All the 6th graders had science fair projects. We had a great turnout. We had tons of parents in and out of the building all day. And the prize this year for them was Amazon gift cards, and the paper was there, and they did a great job covering it. Really some fun projects. I got to do a blind taste test for one of the 6th graders. I was a little skeptical this time of year to let 6th graders blindfold me and do some taste testing, but I had some folks standing by to make sure they didn't feed me anything too yucky. And that was kind of a cool experiment. He did it with lots of different people, a test of senses, and it's just a great experience for the kids to go through that process from beginning to end. We had, the cool thing that we did a little bit differently, that the teachers did a little differently this year, is our peer tutors from the high school helped some kids that were not going to have as much support at home, and they helped them during their peer tutor period to work on their science fair project at school so they could participate and do a really great job in the projects. Do you have any questions? Again, I apologize that we don't have kiddos here. So.
Is that Miss Charles Young's group of peer tutors?
No, it was just our regular peer tutors that are in the classrooms, in the 6th grade classrooms throughout the day.
Okay.
They jumped in and helped kids one-on-one. They did a great job.
All right. Any other discussion?
Thank you.
8.2 National Honor Society report.
It appears that Sammy's not quite here, but I did just call her and she's on the way. Can you skip and come back to us?
Okay.
Thank you.
Healthy Teen Survey.
Okay, that might take a while.
That'll be great. We'll give her time to get here.
So, you guys have the survey. This is a lot of paper. It just takes hard to download onto your board book, so we just made hard copies for you guys. The principals have had this for a couple months just because there was been a lot of things on the board, so I kept moving my report back. So, it's good to remember that the Oregon Student Wellness Survey is to assess a wide range of topics, and those topics include the school climate, positive youth development, mental health, physical health, substance use, problem gambling, fighting, and other behaviors. This is used for program planning, funding for the counties. They get parent permission before they have students take this. This year was a 6th, 8th, and 11th grade, so it was last year's 6th, 8th, and 11th. And it's a quick snapshot just of the time when the kids fill those out. We do the paper pencil. And so I'm just gonna, like last year, go over a few of the items, and then if you guys have any questions, please, feel free to call me, come see me, and I can go over things with you. The other thing is there's a lot of, it felt to me like there's, several repetitions and questions, and it's because they're trying to get validity. And so that's why some of these are over again. So I'm gonna go to page 11. Last year when we looked at this, we didn't have as strong a participation as we did this for this year. and well, it was last year's school year. And so we had great participation in our 6th grade and our 8th grade and our 11th grade. I was able to look at all students, meaning all the students we have, you know, from contracts with like the MODOC students, the Pleshy Dell students, all of those, and then our current students. So we did a really good job of getting with all of our students. Then I'm gonna jump to page 14. So school climate, the atmosphere involving teachers. So the first one is my teachers notice when I'm doing a good job and let me know about it. Our 6th graders were above the state average. Our 8th graders were a little below the state average, and our 11th grade were a little below the state average, but they were still, above 50% in their average of feeling that way. That's an important thing that we always look at every year. And then when I go to page 25, serious problem behaviors. So the one that I'm going to use is that table 15. Now I'm going to go to, table 14. So the students report serious problem behaviors on school property. We were below state average on someone has offered, sold, or given you an illegal drug at school. We're in a physical fight on school property and had been threatened with a weapon on school property. So for our 6th grade, we were below average, right about the state average when it came to the threatened with a weapon. For 8th grade, we were below average on someone offered an illegal drug, but then we were a little above the average on the other two. For 11th grade, we were below average on the offering illegal drugs at school. So that's another area where we're seeing, less of that in our schools. So on page 27, general health, student assessment on their general health. So this is our students telling us that they feel, they have good to excellent physical health, they have good to excellent emotional and mental health.
So can we back up for just a second?
Uh-huh.
On page 25, where it has have a gun or weapon on school property. So the 11th grade group, which would be 10th graders, 25% of them said yes.
Sorry, I gotta flip back.
Table 15.
Table 15.
Oh, to the right is where you're at.
Other
Cory.
than
Yeah, I caught my eye too, Lori.
Other
So,
than a gun, is that the one you're talking about, other than a gun?
took a weapon other than a gun to school, 25%, other than,
Then you have a gun or
have a
weapon on
gun
school
weapon
property.
on school property.
on the bottom. Or a weapon. So that's how they look at weapons, so how they do, so it might not have been the gun, it could have been.
Does that make sense?
Well, the first one says, other than a weapon, and then the next one says, took a gun to school. So it's that other than a weapon and that gun to school for the have a gun or weapon in school property,
okay.
yeah.
Do they define on this test what's a weapon for the students in the question?
So, there, in the back of this is a copy of the test, so you can compare the questions that the kids were asked to the, do you have that on yours, Lane?
Yeah.
So you can take those questions and that's the exact survey that the kids were given.
So I was wondering how they interpreted the question.
So they, and then they will ask different questions throughout it, that are similar, to get validity. So I think that what's important too is I've just done the civil rights report for our school district. And so when you look at our civil rights report, that's what's coming from our student information system. That's the discipline that our principals have done, you know, so there were no weapons when it came to guns in the schools on that report. So that's what we pulled from our student information system on discipline within our schools. And that's another report that, I mean, I'd be happy to share with you guys that we just did off of that. And it goes into the federal government on Friday.
Did it say what percentage of our student population took this survey?
Yeah, that was that first one, the gender was by male and female, the percentage.
Well, I mean, that shows a percentage by gender, but how many of our,
Down at the bottom, there was 43 sixth graders, 43 eighth graders, and 54 11th graders.
does that represent?
So when you look at the classes, that represent the majority of our
Because
classes.
the next one says number of missed, and the only ones we missed were 2 eighth graders.
Oh,
But last year's 11th grade, there's 75 of them. Because this year they're seniors, and there's 75 seniors. So that, I don't know.
So where the number came from.
a lot to digest.
No, you don't have to mess that. Last year, on the juniors, we had 76 students enrolled the day that was given. So, I could look back on and even there, I have a contact to look and why did they say 54? Because we did have enrolled 76 at that time, on that day.
That many kids were absent?
No, it wasn't an absent, that's an enrollment, so. Oh, you mean that many kids absent because of 54?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what else.
I mean, you can always, I mean, I don't know the exact date that was given. I mean, I can try to find out what day the high school gave that test. If you guys want me to find out, and I can look at our absences, we can go back to that.
Well, and the parents can exempt that too.
Football, golf.
There's a
His
form that
test,
goes home, yes, there's a form that goes home that they
Oh,
send it
that's-
back if they wanna exempt.
I had 4 exempts this year.
Yeah, so it's not very many.
Yes,
certainly not 20.
4 kids out, 4 exams. You're getting there.
Or sports
Well,
trips,
Sports.
couple
Is it,
sports
you know,
trips. done.
basketball season and we're missing a football or,
I think it
I
was
think it
4,
was given in April
4 or 5 exempts this year.
this year. I don't know when it was
At
last
the
year.
same time.
So, and you know, next year, maybe the buildings need to present this, cause they know what day they did it. I started presenting it when, you know, I was in the building and knew, but so now, maybe I'm not the best one. Take it.
Bless you.
So then on page, I'm kinda jumping around here, but on page 66, I think I have my book turned around. But on page 66, this talks about students' chances for school to get involved in sports clubs and other school activities outside of class. So the kids chose strongly agree or somewhat agree, so they know what they can be involved in and the things that they can do, so this was a really good slide, I felt, in looking at compared to the state. And our younger kids definitely at 6th grade know what's going on, as well as 8th grade. 11th grade just a little bit lower than the state average, but they do a good job with that as well. School climate is on page 65, so I'm jumping backwards, sorry. And this talks about, I like school very much, I like school, or I neither like or dislike school. And so this was a little bit surprising, because I feel like liking and disliking school was the higher, the third one down. And so it basically are kind of undecided, so whether they like school or not.
well, and the Is it September or is it May?
Well, usually they're after the first of the year, so they can be probably anywhere from, I would say March or April, so that's probably a harder time of year for kids.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, which is not surprising, how important do you think things you're learning in school are? Very important when you're a sixth grader, and then it just train wreck 17th, and by the time you're in 11th grader, you don't think there's any value in it.
On page 52, under communication and substance abuse, what was low was students thinking that they had a special class about drugs and alcohol. So we're below the state average. Mr. Stratton and Ms. Warner, my understanding is that kids are having this in health, but maybe they don't feel that that's a special class, but that there is drug and alcohol, information in schools, in those grade levels.
That may change with the Measure 11 talks too, because we also combined some substance abuse stuff with elementary. I don't know, did you do some substance abuse stuff with Measure 11?
We talked a little bit about E6, but it's.
And they view that as kind of a special thing because they have guest speakers come in. And we
We
brought
didn't
that
have
back.
health for these 8th graders, correct?
Last year.
No. So,
Well, in high school,
They are 9th and 11th.
9th and 11th.
Health had been that they were being pulled out for 9 weeks the last several years before, so I thought that was happening, but maybe it wasn't.
it wasn't.
It
Not in the
wasn't.
last couple of years, but this year it is.
It's back in this year.
And that health in the high school at the 9th and 11th grade that you're referring to is one semester. And so she's gotta cover all of that, so the drug unit's probably maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks tops. So, hard to cover all that.
Notice, page 67, table 97, gets back to the weapon and gun thing. And the answers there look pretty good. But that's also average.
So, that is, basically what I was gonna go over on that. I think the other thing, that there was a webinar this year, and they haven't had it in the past, and it really talked about, honesty checks and how they do their honesty checks. And they really look at, who answers, consistency, and so if there's inconsistency, they really look at that. And they also look at excessive violence on students and a lot of drug use, so that if a student had 6 or more of drug use in the following 30 days, they would eliminate some of those. So some of those may be what's been eliminated from, see, like if you look at your junior class, they don't accept those responses. So they will not take some of those. So,
Feels like outliers.
yeah. So this has, been really, well thought out. They've been doing it for a long time. Age also has a difference, how an age of a student does that as well.
On page 51, am I reading this wrong? There's one that says have 1 or 2 drinks of an alcoholic beverage nearly every day, and you have the 6th graders at 97%, 8th graders at 90%. Same with prescription drugs, you have like 100% for the 6th and the 11th. Was the wording different on the test? Were they saying no at 100%, or are we?
One or 2 drinks of alcohol. Well, that's about parents' attitude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Students' perception about parent attitude.
Thank you. I was reading it wrong.
Yeah,
Skimming
I was
through.
worried there too.
Yeah, I thought,
So this report has a lot. It could take a a long time, but, you know, anybody that has questions, and then you do have the questions that were answered to the kids, you have the exact survey on the back as well. So, are there any other questions right now that you guys have?
Is that it?
That's it. I
Okay.
just think it's a lot to go over.
Yeah.
So I didn't wanna inundate you guys with the hours.
We do have some questions.
Okay.
So, I guess this is maybe for the administration, what happens to this report now? I mean,
Well, I marked a couple on school climate and culture. Kind of concerns me that students are saying that teachers aren't telling them they're doing a good job. So, you know, those are some of the things I'll look at and move forward as we go. Because I think, you know, one of our biggest pushes is respect, relationships. And relationships are huge in a building. And so if we can have those relationships, so that will be something we'll work on, and I'll use that same mantra in the fall during in-service, and I'll bring some of this data up and say, this is what the kids are saying. And how can we do something different to address that?
that's, I guess, what I was looking for, because I saw that same sort of things, and the older they're getting, the less
And I think
they have that connection with the teachers, and then also looking at some of the harassment, bullying numbers, and then also some of the mental health issues, in some of the kids. I think there's some, maybe not any, this might be a magic item in there, but it's a very good conversation piece for staff, I think, to see what kind of the status of the.
the easiest piece will be relationships, because when we have those relationships with our students, a lot of those other things are taken care of, addressed, or go away. I also think, you know, not as an excuse, but turnover's been really high, daily middle school, Lakeview High School. And so when you have a lot of turnover, you don't have those relationships made that are trustworthy. So hopefully we can, one, stop the turnover, and two, at the same time, make this a point as we roll forward of working on those relationships, you know, so that we do make those connections with every student.
You know, I haven't had this conversation with Lane, but last year, the teachers have asked to see the survey, you know, because we've been doing it for years and years, and it hasn't gotten back to the teachers at the teacher level in the buildings. Last year, I presented it to the high school, middle school teachers while Mr. Zizek had another training, and then the plan was for him to do some things with that, and then, you know, that changed, and administration changed and stuff, and so I think that that's an important thing too, that I think the staff, you have two teachers sitting here right now, and I think it's important for them to see it as well. The other thing is that I know that, you know, we're working really hard with the hospital on, you know, having a nurse in our schools. But also what's come up here in this last week is how do we provide some mental health services, and how do we work as a great community partner as a school district with them, and how do they work as a great community partner with us? And so I think that there was some talk around the table on that, and so.
So there has been, I'm on the Community
Yeah.
Health Improvement Committee, and they have analyzed this too, and they're using this data to partner up with us as far as, I would say, more in the prevention realm, education, prevention, you know, to risky behaviors such as alcohol, you know, drugs, etc. So.
Well, it seems like it would be a pretty good document to share, I guess, with staff, and I was also kind of thinking, you know, is there any way, the only thing, maybe you guys have a better idea, but I was thinking with the ASB, the student council be a place to share this from the standpoint of where maybe their peers are within that high school, middle school realm, and if they can help try to change the culture from the inside.
You know, this report it comes out to us early fall, and then they open it up, and so, I mean, it's on the website. I mean, anybody can seek it out, find it, you know, so really it's one that they'd love to see, you know, counties use and work through, you know, as a county or as just as school districts, and that there's a lot of information here. So I think it'd be a good idea for us to relook at how do we want to use it as our district, because we do it every year, but we don't necessarily address different things. you know, my concern when I read through this report, I'm just gonna be honest, my top concern is the alcohol use in this community, and you know, how the kids ride with kids that are driving and, you know, drinking, or how they ride with their parents and they're driving and drinking. And that's a whole mind shift change, you know. We're not any higher than any other rural community, you know, but rural tends to be higher in that area. So how do we look at that?
The other thing I thought, this is my last thought, Barry, sorry.
Sorry, Barry, I told you I was done too.
But the last thing that I saw that I found interesting is about school safety and the students' responses. And it was a very high percentage of them felt safe and missed 0 days because of the feeling of being unsafe. And I think it's interesting from some of the incidences that we've had in the last year or two, that it's that high. And I guess, you know, sometimes sitting on the outside, I may not know all my neighbors' kids that are at the school, and it creates, and I'm using this hypothetically, but it creates questions on what is that household or this household, whereas the kids in the school, they know everybody, and they have probably a better feeling on their safety, I guess, than sometimes maybe a parent from the outside. And so a lot of times we see a big uprising on Facebook about this or that, and it may be a little more overblown than what those that are closest to it are feeling.
Okay, other questions? Thank you, Ms. Chavez.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good report again, as usual. And we'll take a further look at it. Are we ready now for the Honor Society?
Yeah, and so that we know it's the Lakeview Honor Society, we don't follow the National Honor Society protocol. Ms. Schulerberger, Ms. Nickel could probably answer to that better than I can, but it's our own little chapter, it's Lakeview Honor Society. I'll turn it over to Ms. Sammy Nickel.
Alright, so hi, I'm Samantha Nickel, and I am the president of the Lakeview High School National Honor Society. And so I'm just here to give a brief update on the 2018 and 2019 year. So he said we are a little bit different than the National Honor Society. The reason for this is because they have strict rules on applications and on how people get in. And so with this, we had to change that up a bit to fit our standards, because being a rural school, you're not gonna get as many people in National Honor Society with those really high standards. We still have 3.75 GPA. So we still have standards that they just differ a little bit, and we're our own group. We could be a part of the National Honor Society, but we are more of just a Lakeview National Honor Society. So at the beginning of the year, our first project is the Spirit Rock, and thanks to Lakeview Ready Mix, Pardue Construction, and the maintenance, we were able to put this rock in 2 years ago. If you guys have never seen it, it's by the gym, and it just makes it look cleaner. And it's also a fun project for the seniors. The seniors will paint it every year before school starts. So this is our only project before school. And then next, this year we took on the Harvest Carnival. This is not a project we usually take on, but the 6th graders did not need to do it because they did not need fundraising this year. But this was a tradition we really wanted to continue. So we decided to take it on because I know even when I was a little kid, it was something that I always looked forward to, was the Harvest Carnival. So we took that on this year, and we made some money, which we put into our scholarship fund. And then we also do we help out with conferences. With conferences, we know a lot of parents they have children that they don't necessarily want in the conference. So we provide babysitting the first night, both fall and spring, at the Fremont and elementary school. And so we do this so people can not be interrupted during their conferences. And on the first night, we have about 40 kids, which is a very high number, especially this year. We got a higher number than usual, so that's exciting. The Spay Neuter clinic is something we help out with. though it is not a National Honor Society project, we help out with this, with the setup and the cleanup. And we've done that about 2 years, we've helped out with that. The Festival of Trees. So this was a new project. We got a letter saying, do you guys want to do a tree for an auction at the Festival of Trees? And this was one of my personal projects. And with new projects becomes learning experiences. And I wanted to create a Honker Spirit tree. Blue and gold everything. Not only for the sports, but for the clubs. It had it all. But, as I said, new experiences. And what my friend Abby and I did not realize is it might be better to decorate the tree once you get to where it's supposed to be. Instead, we decided to decorate it in my garage. And then we spent a cold 30 minutes in the back of my truck in the rain, trying to keep it from falling over. By the time we got it through the slim door, there was about half the ornaments still on there. And we realized everyone else was decorating their trees once they got there. So, if anyone is decorating a tree ever, maybe put on the decorations last. So that was a cool experience. And Hall Motor bought our tree and they put it in their building, their GM store. So that was exciting. We do a lot of serving. So we do community Christmas parties. And then this year we did the gala. We did it last year too, the chamber gala. And this one was especially fun because it was like cowboy themed. So all of us dressed up. We all had like bandanas and cowboy boots on. And so we had a blast. And then they had a photo booth. So we went over there, took a ton of pictures when everyone was done, had all their props on. And then we also sold raffle tickets. We also help with the Mother's Luncheon. We do serving for that. And then some of our students this year read letters to the mothers. So we had 3 students read letters and then the rest were serving. And then we also last year we helped with the concessions and ushering for the Alger Theater. We also do the Dodgeball Tournament. This is one of our biggest community service projects, and this year we had about 190 spectators. The gym was packed. And so 20 teams, half of them were community teams. And I saw some of you school board members there, so I hope you guys enjoyed because it was funny. It was a good time. And so everything from Les Schwab teams to father-daughter teams. We had a wide spectrum of teams. We had 7th grade team. We had it all. And so one of our high school boys teams were actually the winners. And being the winners, we like to give out t-shirts with the team name and then their individual name. And so their name this year was Not in the Face. So they had a nice little honker and their shirt said Not in the Face. We also put on a movie this year just because we wanted to help the Alger Theater raise money. And then the appreciation weeks. We help out with the maintenance, certified, and classified staff appreciation weeks. For the maintenance, we like to do something each day of that week. It's a week we made up in December. It's early December that we did it. And we've done that for the past 2 years. So we like to do something fun each day. Sometimes people make desserts, other times people do gift cards. And then today we did desserts for the certified and classified staff. We had Happy Horse brownies, which are always fantastic. And we each wrote them personalized letters for all the staff, just thanking them for all their hard work and what they've done for us. So that was good. And then another new project this year is the Soroptimus shoe drive. This is a community partnership with Soroptimus. We like to do stuff with the community, and this we found was a good opportunity to do that. So this has been a drive that's ran through April and it ends May 15th. And high schoolers are not always the easiest to get to bring shoes in. So we thought, what better way to bribe them than with sundaes, ice cream sundaes. So when the shoe drive is over, we are going to have ice cream sundaes for the people that brought them. And I challenge you guys to bring some shoes in. There's a drop-off at the front of the LHS high school. And if you guys want a sundae, just talk to Lisa and we'll get you guys up. We can do delivery. It's free. So that's all working out. It's all good.
Not to Corey's house, though.
Oh, come on.
And then in our induction, that is our next event that is coming up. The induction is where we honor our members. And this year we had to change venues. It is usually at the gathering place, but they are redoing the floors. So we are switching venues and we're thinking about doing it at the ski hill. And so we honor our members and we talk about our projects over the year, and then we induct our new members. So it's a really cool opportunity because it's the first time we have the new members meeting everyone else. So it's fun to see everyone together. And as a group, we feel strongly about everything we do, but we really focus on honoring a teacher who impacted many lives. And this was Noni Vandenberg. We started a scholarship a few years ago, and we put it in her name, the Noni Vandenberg Scholarship. This is our second year doing the scholarship, and it's $500. So all Lakeview High School seniors qualify. All they need to do is write an essay about a quote that the committee picks, and then a letter of recommendation. So the winner will be announced at the senior awards this year. And then the color run commemorates Mrs. Vandenberg as well. This is our third year of the color run. This year it is going to be June 2nd, 2019. And this is the day after graduation and the day after her son gets married. So we decided it would be a good day to do that, and because all the family will be there. And so we generally have about 150 runners/walkers. Our committee is 12 to 15 students, which is bigger than our other committees because it is a very big project. We have kids working on ordering t-shirts and porta potties, to working with ODOT and the town council to change the route. We are also this year partnering with the Noni Trail Committee, and this route will change and finish at the pool park in the head of the Noni Trails. So they're going to be a celebration, a barbecue, and then the naming at the end of the run. So we are really excited about this new partnership because it's going to be an annual thing, which is really exciting. So $2,000 of our money made on the run funds the advanced middle math field trip, which they are going on tomorrow morning. And so that's a 2 or 3 day field trip that they get to go on. And then it also funds the $500 scholarship. I actually have forms for the run and walk and also t-shirt forms with me. So if anyone's interested, I can get you one of those. It would be awesome if you guys could help out with that because it's a fun experience. So with also that, we are helping with the trails, and helping with the trails comes hard work. Those trails need a lot of cleaning before this hiking season. So a lot of our National Honor Society members this spring went and helped clean up the trails, which was really nice. And we want to do that each year, help out in the spring. I feel honored to be a part of National Honor Society. Our NHS advisor and our students work very hard, just not only for the high school, but for the community. It's a pleasure to be able to give to those in our community, and I have had a great experience with it. I am truly honored. So thank you for having me today. With that, does anybody have any questions about National Honor Society?
Are you guys also selling the dance tickets?
No, that's student council.
Yeah, that is student council.
You do, you have don't you, each of you have to do a project and so many community service hours?
Yes, so you have to have 20 community service hours to stick in the program. And so we have chairmen. For the run, we have 4 chairmen, and then we have chairmen for all the other events. Though we don't have enough events since we have 20 people for everyone to chair an event, if they're a part of multiple committees, they can still get their hours. And then there's a lot of things like the Festival of Trees just came up randomly, so then someone can chair that like I did. So things come up, and yeah, most people get their 20 hours.
And they can get 10, they have to have 10 of those hours that are Honor Society hours, and then 10 can be other ways. We have kids that are very active in Boy Scouts. We've got kids that did a ton of painting for the Roundup, our Humane Society setting up and taking down for the Spay and Neuter. So there's a lot of kids who do a lot of stuff outside as well.
So we have the GPA 375, the hours, and then a project, correct?
And an application,
And then,
there's an application. Yep.
and how many kids?
23 this year.
23 this year.
Scary for us though, because we're only inducting 4.
How many are we?
12.
Jeez.
But there are only 4 kids that qualify at the 3.75 level in this current sophomore class. That will definitely modify what we will be doing next year, for certain.
And that is where like the Lakeview High School National Honor Society would compare to the National Honor Society. Because we could be a little bit more lenient with that, so we have enough members, then the National Honor Society is set. So, because we do need enough members to be able to do the projects that we do, like the color run, so.
Any questions?
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Great job presentation.
Nice job,
Do
Sandy.
you have the application on you for the run?
For the run, yes, I do. They're in my car. Okay, I'll go get one.
I was thinking of doing a little pair of shoes someday when everybody's in it.
Let's just take that again.
Give them both up? Okay,
It's kind of last.
we covered everything.
Okay.
All right, old business,
We have none.
new business.
It's off to Janet.
The first one that you have there is not a reallocate, it's just a reallocation of dollars into different object codes. So really simple, the dollars, the overall dollars doesn't change. I just need to switch around about 33,000 to fit the bill for computer hardware and software that we had purchased, along with some consumable supplies that were supposed to have been purchased instead of just straight up capital outlay. And that is in our Measure 98 fund, which is a grant that we have through ODE. So really, I'm just reallocating those dollars.
Any discussion? We have a motion.
I move to approve the resolution number 14, reclassification of object codes as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution number 14, reclassification for object codes as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 10.2.
Okay, the second thing that I've got, we had 2 members that wanted to step down from our budget committee. It was Ann Crumrine and somebody else. I don't remember who it is.
Maybe,
No, Amy's on there.
oh, you
Decker?
Teresa?
Teresa Decker. That's it. Thank you. God. And so I still have 1 vacant spot that I'm having heck trying to get filled, but I do have 2 to fill. Ann and Teresa. One is Stephanie McLean, which is the U.S. Bank branch manager, and Dan Henderson of Ace Hardware have stepped in place.
Okay.
I move to approve the 2018-19 budget committee members as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2018-19 budget committee members as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 10.3.
Okay, and then finally, it's our local legal for the next upcoming year, 1920. The dollar figure did change from $1,000 a month minimum to $1,250, and we do have it straightened out. I did get a new one, thank you. For it to be written out as $1,250.
Any discussion?
I move to approve the local attorney contract for the 2019-20 year as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the local attorney contract for 2019-20 as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Is as presented.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Announcements.
It was announced at the last meeting, this is National Teacher Week, and we've been doing a number of activities for our teachers in recognition for their great work and everything. And Principals, you want to tell a little bit about what you've done in your buildings this week?
Monday morning we had fruit cocktail type setup, and muffins, and then a juice. Yesterday we had hamburgers at lunch, and then today we had smoked ribs and beans and salads for lunch.
Wow.
Tomorrow we'll have donuts from Mr. Cahill, and then Friday I believe we're doing ice cream bars as a. And the National Honor Society did desserts today, so.
The elementaries had treats that Tandy put together for the district office. Mr. Cahill delivered. They were jars with all kinds of fun things. And then we've had Pop Rocks with a saying that your teachers rock. I don't know if my teachers are eating Pop Rocks. That concerns me a little bit. But they had a really cute little package of an oven mitt and some other things. They always have a cute saying with them. Those were delivered. There's, we did coffees this morning for the certified staff. They've had food every day, either baked goods in the staff rooms. They had breakfast this morning. Fremont's classified staff put on breakfast this morning. Hayes staff, classified staff is putting on a nacho bar on Friday, and then the Parents Club is doing a luncheon as well as Mr. Cahill's Donuts tomorrow. And they've had multiple things throughout the day, all week long, to people showing, different groups showing their appreciation. So.
And Tandy did some nice jars on behalf of the district office, candies and bar and a ruler and ribbon. It was really nice. Wonderful job on that. Every year I give the gift that keeps on giving. Thanks.
They'll use a workout room for that.
I believe the union school teachers got treated pretty good too.
And it's interesting because lots of times classified staff in here do things for them out there, but the Parents Club generally at Union takes care of the majority of it. But I have stuff in my car to be delivered to Union from the classified staff in here. But the Union teachers, they really like the delivered like coffees and things because they're so isolated they never get stuff from town. So if you take them Happy Horse brownies, they're on cloud 9. Yeah.
I think I would like to say something about that.
Yeah, go for it.
I guess I would like to say that, I won't speak for the board, but I definitely recognize the need to improve school funding, and I appreciate the teachers for not disrupting our classes today and staying in the classroom. Thank you.
We had a math consultant in the buildings today. She was down there with, she was at the high school part of the day, and then I met with her mid-afternoon. And she'll tell you a couple different things. She works in Michigan, she works all over the country, and that our kids are really well behaved, and we have a lot to be proud of as far as the expectation level of our kids' behavior K-12. The other thing she said is, you must have a really great relationship with your teachers and your union for them to say, we don't feel like we're gonna make a huge impact by walking out, but that's not what's best for our kids. And so they didn't. She was pretty impressed with her staff.
That was not the case with Klamath County.
It's Klamath City.
Klamath
Klamath
City,
City, yeah.
Klamath County.
Yeah.
And that's what she cited
Klamath
too, because
County was in school.
she works with Stearns, and that's what she cited, just the difference. It's not that far mileage-wise, but the difference in attitude.
I talked to Ruth Ann beforehand about it, and she indicated to me that, it wasn't gonna happen, and I expressed my appreciation to Ruth Ann and to her association both.
I got an announcement.
Okay.
Tomorrow, the annual FFA tri-tip dinner. If you would like to get I think it's a tri-tip sandwich. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's me and Liam.
I don't know. I haven't traveled enough today, and this is the first I've heard.
So it's the tri-tip dinner. Tri-tip dinner is
They don't ever
a
come
tri-tip
over
sandwich. I think it is, but it's tomorrow, and you come by. In the past, they fed right out of the cafeteria, so it's kind of like a drive up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Give them your ticket to give you the
Give
meal.
tickets and give you the meal. So if you could do that, it'd be great.
Starts at 4:30.
When we get dinner.
Yeah.
For this next year, couldn't we get it 2 weeks before the meeting that we go over it, and then we can digest it a bit, and
I'd say
then have
that's-
more to
That's a good request, yeah.
share?
Yeah, Lonnie,
It's
let's
just,
Sure.
she's my favorite.
put that on our.
Yeah, we've had
And
it
she's
for,
had her books all ready for weeks.
they've been on the
so
shelf for
that-
you guys.
that would be easy.
Yeah.
Sure, but no, that makes sense,
If it's
for you
hard
guys
to
to be
get
able
it
to
into
cover.
the board books, it's fine, but maybe we could just get it
Yeah,
a little bit earlier.
Sure.
Maybe the week, the
It's a fair
meeting
request.
before, it's-
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, at that meeting.
Okay, yep.
Any other announcements
Dan Clark on some,
tonight?
Now.
Right now.
Right now. Okay,
Good old.
all right. Next,
See their escape.
13, next board meeting agenda items.
Well, it's on your
My daughter's
board
Thank
calendar
you.
is the work session. Similar to the format last year, we presented district goals. Principals will present their handbooks, and we will also present them for your consideration the board calendar for 2019-20. And as far as the OSBA policy update, I'd like to move that probably to the first June meeting, because I'd like to focus on these key things, so. If you're okay with it, I'd like to start that meeting at 5. If you're not
That
okay,
hurts.
if you're
That
not,
hurts.
if you're not okay, 5:30 is just fine, so.
So Tammy has me down for not here, so. And that's into, I don't even know.
The 22nd.
22nd.
I told you, it was a strong meeting.
Any,
All right, any other board meeting agenda items?
I have none.
Adjournment?
Move, we adjourn the meeting.
Seconded to adjourn the meeting, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned.